Today I am in a place where the deadliest aviation disaster in Polish history took place. A plane crash that is inside the 20 most fatal accidents ever recorded in aviation history. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Kabacki forest disaster. Boom! Cześć ludzie, what's up people? Hola, JT here, welcome to another episode. I am here in the last Kabacki, or the Kabacki forest. It's a huge forest, natural reserve, park, and basically one of the biggest lungs of the city of Warsaw. I don't live too far from here, as a matter of fact, and we've come here all the time for the last 2 years, like this road. We've traversed it many a times with my wife, my kid, with my daughter, and I've always been intrigued by a memorial that sits right here to my left. This memorial is in memory of the 183 people that lost their lives in the largest aviation disaster in the history of this country. Now, we've established that Poland is a very safe country in regards to crime, in regards to even accidents. It doesn't have the best track record in Europe, but if you consider the whole world, Poland has quite low numbers of fatal accidents in means of transportation. Now, when we talk about means of transportation, we have obviously cars, vehicles, buses, we have trains, and then we have planes. When we talk about flying, that's a sensitive topic because yes, there are millions of people that have absolutely no problem. They buy their tickets, they get on their plane, they get their beverage, their refreshment, they watch a movie, they take a nap, whatever it is, and they get to their destination pretty fast. Maybe the only thing that bothers them might be just immigration or getting their suitcases, misplaced, whatever. But there are so many people that are terrified of flying. They feel, number one, out of control, like they cannot do anything. They are inside this metal tube that they cannot escape if something is wrong. Number two, you are flying up 10,000 meters up there in the sky, and if anything were to go wrong, the only way is down, right? So a lot of people are actually heavily affected by this, and actually it's pretty simple to understand. We fear most that which we cannot control. But statistically speaking, flying is the safest way to transport yourself from point A to point B. If we look at the statistics, we have 1 in 13 million chances of being in an air tragedy. You can even be in an accident and not necessarily die. Still, that number is 1 in 13 million. Think about it. Not only that, but if we look at the statistics of, for example, the year 2022, there were 5 fatal accidents out of 32 million flights. 32 million flights. You have a higher chance of being bitten by a shark than you have of dying on a plane accident. But it hasn't always been like this. In the decade of the 70s, you would have 1 death in 350,000 flights. Still, the numbers are really good, but compare it 70s to the year 2022, the odds have improved tremendously. The Polish airline LOT has an impeccable safety record. It has a 7 out of 7 in the safety ratings in airlineratings.com. If you're Polish, you probably have flown with LOT many a times. I know I have, and I will continue to do so. I think it's a good airline. But on a late morning, on the 9th of May of the year 1987, sadly, the statistics, the 1 in probably by then maybe 500,000 chances, well, that one time created a dent in the history of Poland. Right here behind me, a memorial of a catastrophe, an accident that took the life of 183 people. That plane met its demise right here. On the morning of November 9th, 1987, 38 years to the recording of this video, found its last resting place. That stone with that plaque that actually reads Miejsce katastrofy samolotu and goes on to, of course, honor the code of the plane and the amount of individuals that lost their lives that day. 155 of them Polish and 17 of them American. It feels eerie, even though so many years have passed. Still, you can see the trace. Now, of course, new trees have grown and have been planted, but you can see here that there is a mix between a lot older trees and a lot younger trees, because of course, after that tragedy, probably all this area here got severely affected. So they, of course, had to plant new trees. They built the memorial. It's right here. And I have friends that are from this area, and they tell me that they remember vaguely on that day hearing a lot of sirens and ambulance and fire trucks flooding to this part of Warsaw. Now, what exactly caused the incident? The aircraft was a 186-seat called the Ilyushin 2nd-62M, and it was built in the third quarter of the year 1983. And the actual plane was named in honor of Tadeusz Kościuszko, the Polish military leader and national hero. It was a Soviet-made aircraft that suffered a catastrophic malfunction that led to the loss of control, literally just after takeoff. So we understand exactly what happened. You have to see the actual construction of the plane. The 2-62M has four tail-mounted engines with two on the left side and two on the right side. And the proximity of the two pairs of engines would prove to be critical in the sequence of the accident. The pilot and captain, Zygmunt Pawleczek, his name is right there, first name on that stone, was a very experienced pilot. He had almost 20,000 hours accumulated of flight time. He did not make a mistake. Actually, 9 minutes after the departure from the Okęcie airport, they noticed that there was a malfunction. One of the engines' temperature took off. Immediately, they noticed something was not working properly. Initially, they thought that maybe they could make an emergency landing at the Modlin airport. It was a military airport, but it was ruled out. They decided that they were going to go back to Okęcie. The thing is that, at the time, they thought that maybe the officials should have made them land in Modlin. It was closer. The problem is that the systems of emergency and rescue were not as good in Modlin compared to Okęcie. The issue is that there was a problem in the communication system. So they did not know that the fire had broke out. Due to the damage to the electrical system, the crew have problems fuel dumping, which usually is part of the protocol. There was a fire spreading in the cargo hold. In the last minutes, the fire probably spread into the passenger cabin. Very horrendous and catastrophic, eerie situation. There was one passenger, a lady named Halina Domeracka. Her name is right here. And they found her copy of the New Testament Bible, that on the opening page she had written 09/05/1987. The airplane is damaged. God, what will happen now? And imagine, just imagine the sensation someone must feel writing those words. It is exceptionally sad. Now I would like to play you a transcript of the final moments of Flight 5055. And I want to credit the YouTuber Duaha, who I contacted and approved my use of his footage. Incredible that this actually happened. These were real people. This is not a Hollywood movie. This is reality. Listen to this.
Dalej w lewo kurs 300. Wiatr jest 290 stopni, 22 km/h, możecie lądować na pasie 3-3.
Incredible, isn't it? The calmness in their voices, the professionalism, the stoicism, just sharing all that technical information back and forth, whilst at the same time being human beings and probably in the back of their subconscious, assuming that this might be the end of their journey. This might be the end. I'm pretty moved by that recording. And as expected, of course, at the time Poland went into a national mourning period, and it received condolences from all over the world. And another page in the book of Polish history was written, and Polish airline LOT significantly improved its safety features, including fire detection policies, and never again have we seen an incident of this magnitude in Polish soil. And hopefully, never again. Hopefully never again. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Like I said, I walked down this path a lot, and even though I knew about this incident, I did not know the details of it. Never again will I walk here and be the same. See you on another episode. Bye-bye.